I'm going to break down all the differences between SpotOn and every other GPS dog collar on the market to help you make an informed decision. We're going to talk about some of the things that SpotOn does differently and I think better than the competition, starting with the most important factor, accuracy, which I believe matters most above everything else. We're going to talk about some of the design features that SpotOn offers, and then finally we're going to discuss some of the drawbacks to SpotOn and why these other GPS dog collars exist in the first place. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you're gonna know if SpotOn is right for you. And if you decide SpotOn is right for you, head to the description below. You're gonna find an exclusive discount link that is offered just to you, my viewers. All GPS dog collars essentially exist to perform the same function. One way or another, you draw a boundary or fence for your dog. And then the collar tracks your dog's location via GPS and alerts your dog that they are approaching that boundary, signaling that they should turn back. The most important thing you need to know about SpotOn is that accuracy has always been its top priority. And what we do here at Cozy Crates is we have a team of researchers and testers who are constantly putting all of these different products on the market to the test to see which of them work best, especially in challenging conditions like dense tree cover. SpotOn is still the #1 collar on the market in this category. Right now, I have researchers testing the Halo 5 along with several other competitors, and the fact remains SpotOn is still the most consistent at responding to your dog approaching a boundary. And I start with this because, again, I think that accuracy is the most important factor in at least my decision-making process. If I'm going to be investing in such a specific niche and frankly not inexpensive product, I want to make sure that I'm getting the one that is closest to being 100% effective. And right now, that still remains SpotOn. The first thing you'll notice when comparing SpotOn to some of the other products on the market is it is not just a gimmicky, kitschy, pet gadget. It is a frankly pretty advanced piece of tech that is purpose-built to get the job done. And one standout feature that SpotOn has over just about every other product on the market is the ability to physically walk the perimeter of your property to create your boundary. Most of the other ones make you, draw it on a map on your phone, which is frankly less accurate and ultimately very limiting. SpotOn automatically drops a GPS pin every 5 feet as you are walking, giving you the opportunity to create literally hundreds of GPS pinpoints on your perimeter. And some of these other apps, they limit you to like 20 total, which is serviceable for a lot of properties, but SpotOn also has the ability to pause and restart tracking, which is a game changer if you have a large or irregular property. It's also made right here in the US, and that quality does show. It's made from a combination of silicone and rigid plastic, so it is rugged, durable, but it's also cleanable and fairly comfortable. I have actually seen Poppy fall asleep wearing this dog collar. Under the hood, it is powered by a dual feed GPS antenna that consistently connects to 2 separate satellites for improved accuracy and better performance in difficult conditions like near tall buildings or around dense foliage. And while SpotOn is a high-tech product, it's not frankly a difficult one to use. The app is clean, the interface is intuitive, it's advanced enough that you can fine-tune certain settings if you want to, but I think just about anyone can walk in and get started on their own. If you're not particularly tech savvy, you may find some of the other app interfaces a little bit more appealing, but while it might be a little bit intimidating at first, I think it does not take much to get started with SpotOn. It is, advanced, but it's accessible at the same time. Let me walk you through how the system works because it's really straightforward, and frankly, I think it really does work. So as your dog approaches a boundary, they get within 10 feet of the boundary, they will get an audible alert, just a little like beep boop, just something to let them know that they are approaching the boundary. If they continue towards that boundary at 5 feet, they get a second audio tone. It's a consistent little beep. I call it a goose honk, but it's just basically like a just to let them know that they are even closer to that boundary. And if your dog turns around, it stops. If they continue moving forward and actually cross the boundary, that is when the correction happens. And the correction, it can be either vibration or static or both. It's up to you what you choose. Static correction doesn't have a tone associated with it, but your dog will feel it on their neck. If they cross the boundary and then turn back to go in, they will get another like quick audio tone to let them know that they've re-entered the boundary. If they leave the boundary and stay out, the collar automatically switches over to tracking mode, and you can see your dog's real-time location on your phone. The correction only lasts about 30 seconds once they cross the boundary. So it's not like if you choose static correction that they're just going to be continually static corrected for you know, potentially hours, but it'll last for 30 seconds. But that real-time location tracking mode stays in effect until either your dog re-enters the boundary or you manually turn it off after you found your dog. Overall, it is a smart and I think humane system that works well, that I have found to be incredibly effective in practice. Now here's something that is unique to SpotOn that I think really sets it apart. It will work completely off the grid. If you are in a rural area with no cell service, or you like to go, you know, camping with your dog out in the middle of nowhere, the fence system will still work. And we actually tested this up in northern Michigan, no cell service for miles, and the fence still remained in place. And here's the real kicker. You know, you don't have to plan ahead and draw your boundary in advance while you have cell service. You can make new boundaries using just your phone and the collar with no cell service at all. As far as I know, SpotOn is the only collar that has that specific functionality. So why even consider going with another collar? And frankly, I don't think you should, but let's talk about why there are other, you know, competitors in the market to begin with. A great example is battery life. So the SpotOn battery lasts about 24 hours or up to 2 days on extender mode, which frankly, I think is just fine for everyday use. For me, I put the collar on my dog when she goes outside, and then I take it off when she comes back inside, and I throw it on the charger. It charges in about 2 hours back to a full charge. And frankly, I think that is perfectly fine for 99% of the people who are going to use this dog collar. Some competitors out there are advertising 5 days of active use battery life, and that's great. But that also means they're likely running much weaker GPS systems. The dual feed antenna on the SpotOn collar takes a little bit more juice to run, but it's also much more accurate than what other collars are offering. And frankly, I think that is worth the trade-off. Yes, SpotOn's price tag is higher, but unlike its competitors, it doesn't lock you into a subscription. The fence features work right out of the box without any monthly fees or subscription costs that could potentially go up at any time outside of your control. Now, they do offer a subscription option, but that's only for the live tracking features, escape notifications, and the callback button. If your dog somehow gets out of the boundary, you would need a subscription in order to see their real-time location. But frankly, I've never had to use that feature for myself because the boundary system just works. And other dog collars like Halo like to tout their, you know, their celebrity partnerships, but SpotOn's training system does hold its own. In our testing, each dog we tested it with learned the boundary and the system quickly. And frankly, it's humane, it's consistent, and ultimately effective at keeping your dog safe without all of the, you know, marketing fluff that your subscription dollars are actually paying for. So here is who SpotOn is really for. If you have a large property, like over half an acre, or you travel often with your dog, or you're considering putting in a physical fence on your property, you should consider SpotOn as a choice. It's far cheaper than a physical fence, and you can create multiple boundaries for different situations or times of day. And it's great, especially if you live on a property with a lot of wildlife that your dog likes to chase. It's not for everyone though. If you have, you know, a small yard or a relatively smaller dog like a Chihuahua, the collar is just not going to be a good fit. Ha ha ha. Now, the medium-sized dog collar that is the standard that they sell extends between 12 and 18 inches. So again, not gonna fit the smaller dogs. It's also gonna be a little tight around the larger dogs. They do sell, extenders in size small and large collars. So that's all stuff that you want to consider before you make the choice to buy. But honestly, these are edge cases. I have tested the SpotOn collar in rain and snow and in the woods and on camping trips, and SpotOn just does what it sets out to do. Oh, one quick tip before we wrap up. GPS, even on a good day, there is about 10 feet of what's called GPS drift, where those boundaries can blur a little bit. Now, in our experience, we didn't have that with the SpotOn collar, but it is still a potential factor. So I like to set my boundaries 30 feet away from any roads or potential hazards that I want my dog to avoid. It's just, in my opinion, it's best practice and helps keep your dog safer. So if you're ready to take the plunge, head to the discount link in the description below to get the SpotOn collar cheaper than anywhere else. You've got a 90-day money-back guarantee, so it's completely risk-free. If you have experience with, SpotOn or other GPS dog fences, or you have a question about any of these things, drop them in the comments. We love to read them. We love to respond. If you like these videos, please consider subscribing. That is all we have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.